effects of COVID, and over the summer I got a personal chance to get in contact with some of the officers and inform people that work for the FBI. And I was attempting to get an internship, and successfully I went through some of the procedures to get into the FBI, and I did some small work, nothing extreme. But I wanted to know where the name FBI came from. And so I looked it up for my own knowledge, and now I'm going to tell you all. But on June 29, 1908, Attorney General Bonaparte, he ordered the Special Agent Force to report to Chief Examiner Stanley W. Finch, and this is considered the formal beginning of the FBI. Here is the Attorney General Bonaparte, full picture. And now to get into the real stuff. First, the FBI had no name; it was just called the Force. And Attorney General Bonaparte created the entity that would become the FBI. And he clearly didn't name it; he simply referred to it as a Special Agent Force, which is what it was, when announcing his work to Congress in the 1908 annual report. So at this time, the current FBI was named the Force. Secondly, it was named the Bureau of Investigation, but also sometimes called the Division of Investigation. In 1909, Attorney General Wickersham, who is this dashing fellow, he formally named Bonaparte's force the Bureau of Investigation, or the BOI. At this time, the Bureau had less than 70 total employees scattered across the nation. There's no central headquarters like there is today in Washington or New York or on the West Coast in Denver, Colorado. And over the next several years, the Bureau was also referred to as the Division of Investigation, but this title did not stick because there were several other divisions of the same name in the government. And in 1913 through 1933, the Bureau remained the Bureau of Investigation. And in 1933, it was formally named the United States Bureau of Investigation. Thirdly, this is the part that I found most confusing. I had trouble understanding it. I had to read it a couple times, but the Bureau became the Division of Investigation in spring 1933. This was when newly elected President Franklin Roosevelt reorganized the entire Justice Department in the United States. That's President Roosevelt, and this I got from the Presidential Library. His reorganization grew out of the end of the Prohibition, which was in 1919. The 18th Amendment outlawed the sale and manufacture of alcohol and enforced punishment to people who produced it, sold it, drank it, and this was all enforced by the Treasury Department's Bureau of Prohibition, the BOP. In 1929, the BOP was transferred to the Justice Department, so the Justice Department and the Department of Investigation, which is today's FBI, all work together with the Bureau of Prohibition. But what does any of this stuff really have to do with the FBI? In June of 1933, President Roosevelt ordered the formation of the Division of Investigation, composed of the Bureau of Investigation and the Bureau of Prohibition. So we put everything all together. And Director Hoover, which came after Roosevelt, he was named the first director of the investigation. He was appointed, and he also remained the director of the BOI. And in fall 1933, the 18th Amendment was repealed, so people could buy, sell, drink alcohol again, so the Bureau of Prohibition was no longer needed, and it was disbanded, and all its enforcement functions and agents were dispersed into the FBI. So those agents became FBI agents, including the employment. Now finally, the FBI, which came from the Bureau of Investigation had become the Division of Investigation. It's confusing since there were multiple divisions of investigation in the federal government, which I mentioned earlier. And this is when Director Hoover asked that his division, who he was in charge of, be given a more distinctive name. This is when Attorney General Cummings he talked to President Roosevelt and went to Congress, talked to Congress, and they agreed on a name. And in 1935, the Department of Justice and Congress officially recognized the division as the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI. It was formally adopted July 1st in 1935. And on the left here are one picture of two special agents, which were going back to the very first name, the Special Agent Force. And they have their badges, guns, all kinds of stuff. And on the right is their federal seal, and this is under it's a Velcro patch on their chest, so that people don't necessarily know they're from the FBI unless they read their arm. And here we got just pictures of a badge, the FBI logo, and some of the agents at work. This was one of my sources, and this is what they actually gave me while I was there. It holds all the information, the large information